The only thing that I can think about that separates the bonnet from any other form of headdress is that it's exclusive to Black women. Now that I've got you right here, 'cause I got you sprung off in a fuck all your free time. What is up, loved ones, and welcome back to my channel. This week I haven't really been on social media like that, but I have heard the debates, the highly and regularly debated conversation about bonnets and whether or not they should be worn out in public. These are one of the conversations that is kind of confusing to know why this is like topic for like public debate and opinion, because obviously we all have free will, so we all have the choice to wear what we want, when we please, because these are, my body is my body, your body is your body. So enacting your own free will to do with your body as you please is definitely your choice. But people have brought it upon themselves to make it a public debate for a public platform for other people to weigh in their opinions, even if they don't wear bonnets themselves, to weigh their opinions on whether or not people, specifically Black women, should be wearing their bonnets in public. Celebrity and comedian Monique gave her opinion about whether or not Black women should be wearing their bonnets in public and what that meant for their pride. Here it is.
And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap, but I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of, let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it.
So obviously one of the main concerns with wearing your bonnet out in public is a matter of whether or not you're presentable, whether or not you look like you have self-respect, whether or not you're taking pride in your image and in yourself. This gives me questions of why you're wearing something on your head or headwear, which is, I guess, generally used to go to sleep in, but most people, if you do not leave the house, will have your bonnet on all day because there's no necessity for exposing your hair to the environment or the elements when you can just keep it nice and kempt and safe underneath the silk bonnet. But people often associate wearing bonnets or wearing pajamas or wearing things with going to sleep, even though these are generally considered loungewear for people who don't wear explicit loungewear. While I've never left the house in my bonnet because, I've been socially conditioned to do otherwise, I definitely have never passed judgment upon those who choose to, because wearing a bonnet is literally like wearing a beanie, wearing a hoodie, wearing a do-rag, wearing a hat. It's just something as a means to cover your hair. And because a bonnet is not an indication of bad hygiene, I don't understand why wearing a bonnet in public would be such a big deal. The only thing that I can think about that separates the bonnet from any other form of headdress is that it's exclusive to Black women, which when you think about it, the policing of Black women and the way that Black women appear has been something that is long standing in history. From our hair to our skin tone to the way we speak, our vernacular, to just being Black women in public view in general. It has always been something that is highly debated. You know, if they could, they would just keep us locked up in the bottom of a basement where no one could see us, no one could find us, and no one could ever know that we ever existed. So it is nothing out of the ordinary for Black women to be considered something shameworthy, even wearing a bonnet. There have been plenty of people who have commented on headscarves in public as, oh, I just simply like your headscarf, or I like your headwear. Thank you. Very cute. Thank you. But because it's something that is directly and almost exclusively associated with Black women, it seems like something that should be policed, something that should be seen as unacceptable, which goes into the consistent pathologizing of Black women and the actions of Black women and the things that Black women do. Notice how the debate can be sometimes led by Black men who, when you really think about it, when it comes to Black men and Black women's hair and headdresses, this is something that is seen as a point of shame for them, because they are not happy that our hair does not look like other non-Black women's hair. Our hair is nappy, our hair is coarse, our hair can be kinky and curly and all of that magical Black goodness, and it is something that Black men find their personal hell in, if you really are honest about it. A lot of arguments that Black men have when it comes to dating non-Black women is that Black women have to do all types of crazy stuff to their bald-headedness, when non-Black women can just simply get up and live their lives the way that every woman should, carefree and free, flowing in the wind.
Like, all right, am I in bed with Allen Iverson? What is these cornrows?
And it was a bit traumatizing for me.
It blew my mind. Is this why women do this all the time? She must have had one of those $1,000 Remy goddesses.
So it is in the back of my mind that yes, she's pretty, but how does she look without it?
And while Black women could do these things, God has ordained us to live a harder and more struggled life for our hair. So it is not necessarily the case. We could freeball it, but that would just lead to more distress and stress in the future. We do not simply just let our hair be. Our hair is something like the rest of our lives that must be obtained and kept through diligent care. Which leads us back to the question of the bonnet. Why on earth would a Black woman go to the airport with her hairdo that she's intending on wearing out probably that night to the airport to sit in an airplane for 4+ hours to meet her destination and ruin her hair? And this debate right now kind of reminds me of back in the day. There was another debate about Black women wearing hair bonnets to bed in general, and how that was so unladylike, and how you will lose your man because you are wearing a bonnet to bed. Some Black women were saying, I could never wear a bonnet to bed, blah, 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 blah. And these debates, I'm sure there are plenty of Black women who keep their bonnets at home when they spend the night at their man's house for the first few times, because you have this preconceived notion that Black men are very much against bonnets. Bonnets are very not cute, not sexy, or whatever. And so these things lead you to go to bed with your hair out. And yeah, I definitely have done this before, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people who have done it before, but why should we ruin our hair that costs so much to maintain, to take care of, to purchase? Why should we take the risk of ruining our hair for the sake of the male gaze, for the white gaze? No one cares. People wear hijabs, people wear turbans, people wear caps, beanies, do-rags. So why is it that the bonnet is the only unacceptable headwear that we can possibly think of to have at a public debate, as a public debate. Why? When our hair is just as sacred to us as people's religions are sacred to them, and the customs that go behind the headdresses of those religions are to them. Why is it Black women who have to be the center of ridicule when it comes to select headdress? We should be praised for thinking of such a contraption that can keep our hair safe and maintained. Did we just talk about the efficiencies of the bonnet? When have you ever fallen asleep with a bonnet on and woken up and it wasn't there? That's something that should be marveled over. Oh, it looks like a chef's hat. It looks like any other headdress, and no one would care if Black women weren't wearing it. So the question is, why do you care? And as a Black woman myself, I'm sure there are Black women who would say, well, you know, it looks bad on all of us. The fact that one person from a racial community is doing something should not look bad or look upon another person in the same racial community. Why? Because we are not a monolith.
We are not a monolith.
We are all individuals. And if people want to subject us and categorize us in the same racial category and therefore submit us to all the characterizations of that race, these are not people that you want to associate with, because these people cannot see the individuality in everyone. Race is just a small aspect of people's identity. And most of the time, the identity or being identified by your race is something that is usually not used as something positive when it comes to being Black. So if someone is using your racial identity as a big portion of how they identify you in general, that doesn't seem like someone you should associate with. I would appreciate if certain topics that we addressed in the community weren't addressed to us in the community specifically, just because these are cultural norms for us. Wearing a bonnet is a cultural norm. Wearing it outside the house is a personal decision. Wearing it inside the house exclusively is a personal decision. Both personal decisions literally have nothing to do with you or me or any of us. That's all I have to say about that one. I hope you found this video, I wouldn't say educating, because these are all things that we should know already. But I hope you found it a little bit enlightening. I feel like generally the conversation always goes one way, which is no one should be wearing their bonnets out in public, but hopefully you have a different perspective on people's free will of choice, on why we shouldn't be telling other Black women what to do with themselves, because it is a personal choice and a choice that shouldn't really be highly debated, because it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. If you feel like someone's bonnet is messing with your racial identity, wow. Whoa. That's definitely something that you want to take a step back and really unpack with yourself, because racial identity should never be as too deep as to another Black woman wearing her bonnet having you feel like now we're taking a step back as a race and as a community, because a real community would not care what other people in the community are doing that is not harming you specifically or harming you bodily, physically, or things of that nature. Wearing a bonnet is not going to kill anybody. You know what kills people? Mass shooters. Those kill people. You know what kills people? Diabetes, COVID. These things are actual problems that we face in society that can be very racialized and can be something that we take a firm hand in trying to address. Bonnets? Is that really where we're gonna have is that really gonna be the topic of debate? Bonnets? Okay, well, bonnets doesn't really seem that pertinent or pressing of an issue to be in high debate over. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I am new to the YouTube and I would just love it if I could have your support. And you know, if there's any other topics that you would love to hear my perspective on, I'd love to give it. Have a good one. Bye.